All right, mate. Well, thanks for joining. This is, I guess, my first video where I'm going to try and chat to as many astrophotographers as I can. I thought I'd do the rounds here in Australia first, and what I would think of doing first, and then Mr. John Rutter, Mr. Gigapano himself. Although you've steered clear of the 85mm lenses in recent times, you've gone a bit wider, and you've been sticking to those 24mm lenses and things. How's that going for you?
I have, yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me. I really appreciate you having me on the channel here. And yeah, so I don't know, I just sort of mix it up. So I have done 85mm full arch panoramas before, and it just about killed the computer and the hard drive. But yeah, I've just been playing around with different focal lengths and just sort of going out testing different things and just enjoying the whole process of it. So yeah, just mixing it up.
I guess I like pushing the boundaries. I'm assuming you do too. Like you want to try and go that little bit further. I don't think I'd ever go 85mm panos. Well, so never say never, but it's you want to try and do something just that little bit better to put your little touch on something. So I think everyone will see your work online, and you just know straight away that that's a John Rutter pano right there. Like you just know. So it's good to know. I guess feedback is that I know I could see your work a mile away. I know it's your work, so it's always good to have that sort of signature look as well. So I think it's something that most people would strive for. But like to get that sort of I guess feel in your work, like you started like whereabouts or when did this all start? Like how did you get into astrophotography? Were you a landscaper or a portrait photographer when you started, or was it just straight into astro?
So it's a bit of a weird one, really. So yeah, I started probably astro predominantly, probably like 2017, 2018, something like that. But my history is sort of a bit of everything, really. So I'd done a bit of photography in school and then went away from it. But I was always sort of at arm's length from photography. So all my mates still had cameras, and my dad is right into photography. So he always had cameras. So I was never ever too far away from it. And when I started traveling around, I grabbed a camera again, and it was actually my dad's hand-me-down camera. So he gave me one of his old cameras just to sort of get my foot back in the door, and I just enjoyed going out and taking photos when I was traveling. So yeah, that's sort of how I got back into it, and then that ventured into a bit of portrait photography. But as you know, people and kids are pretty hard to photograph. So and I was actually in Hawaii at the Volcanoes National Park, and I was taking a photo of the volcano at night time, and I didn't even give the sky a thought. All I wanted to do was just get a beautiful landscape photo of the volcano, and I went there at night so you could get that beautiful glow in the sky. And yeah, there it was, the Milky Way, and you couldn't plan it any better even if you tried. So it lined up perfectly behind the volcano, and I'm not sure if I've never seen another image like it, to be honest with you, but it wasn't a good Milky Way photograph, but it just sort of got the ball rolling for me. And yeah, I just didn't look back. As soon as I got home, I just started going out and pointing my camera at different directions at night time and seeing what I could photograph. And I actually didn't even know what the Milky Way was, where it was, anything like that. And yeah, it sort of just snowballed from there all these years later.
Yeah, that's pretty epic first accidental photo. I think I guess to a degree I was the same as you. I did lots of other genres of photography. I used to do sunrise landscapes, and I'd get there way before the crack of dawn and take some test shots and pick up a few stars. And I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. Didn't really think much of it, but yeah. And then eventually evolved. Like I think 2018 is about when I pretty much pulled the pin and went, yep, I'm going straight into Astro. So we both started similar times, I guess. But yeah, I probably dabbled for longer than you, but only on and off. But mate, I'm sorry, I've brought you on here and I haven't even offered you a beer. Do you drink these?
I do drink beers. Anyone who knows me knows I love to drink beer when can I have that one?
Yeah, mate, this is yours if you want it. You can have it.
Sweet.
There you go. You got it?
Got it.
Excellent. I'll grab mine. Like beer.
Cheers, big ears.
I obviously shook mine up and didn't shake yours up, thankfully. But all right. Well, now that the beer's open, we can talk a bit more freely. But so we spoke about, I guess, when you started. I guess that moment in Hawaii was pretty much what sold it to you. You're like, no, this is phenomenal. I want to get into Astro. Was it 2018? Like that was it? No more other photography, just Astro, or?
That was sort of the turning point for me. I was so keen on Astro that it sort of just took over, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this can relate to it, that everything else just sort of got put on the back burner, and I just didn't want to do anything else except for go out and take images of the night sky. And in those early days, it was, I mean, a big inspiration at the time was Richard Taddy, which you obviously know well, but anyone here in Australia knows well. But because he's been around for so long on YouTube and is so free with his education of nightscape imaging, he was a massive inspiration for me early on, and it just kept that motivation going to learn how to do things better. I'd go out of a night time and shoot it, come home, figure out what I did wrong, and then just rinse and repeat. I just did that for as many clear nights as I could, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I definitely stumbled across Richard learning things. You type into YouTube like how to do this or how to do that, and Richard already had an image, I mean, like a video already up. Oh, my camera being silly. There we go. Oh, still being silly. But yeah, so I watched a heap of Richard's videos, and then I even stumbled across Alan Wallace way back in the day, where his first viral video was when the A7S II came out with the 14mm Sigma 1.8. He was doing handheld Milky Way photography. So that video I saw, and then that's how I stumbled across Alan. He hadn't even really started doing many vlogs at all. Like, I think I watched all his vlogs within an hour. Like when he went, and then I've been following him ever since. But that was, I guess, motivation to go out and then even record videos with YouTube channels. And same with yourself. I'm assuming, like, just getting out there and teaching people and give back to what you took in when you started, I guess.
Yeah, and I think those guys like Richard and Alan Wallace, like you mentioned, who were sort of the pioneers on YouTube and just gave away so much free information. I think a lot of people out there have got a lot, can thank those guys a lot for where a lot of us are currently at, because they gave us the motivation, all those little tips when we obviously had no idea what we're doing. So, yeah, those two guys were a massive inspiration. And like I said, to get those little tips. And as my journey sort of progressed, the third person who I actually should give credit to would be Eric Benedetti. So I'm not sure if you've seen Eric's work, and I think now he goes by Utah Astrophotography, but he's sort of been off the scene for a few years now. But his work back in the day was, I guess for me, was sort of the pioneer of the big tracked full arch panorama, high resolution nightscape. So that for me was just sort of the motivation to go out there and just get better at what I did. So yeah, those three guys, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this could relate to those three names.
Yeah, no, I do know Eric, not personally, but yeah, I know his work, and I know he works with his wife as well in terms of that Utah Astro. So I think they had a kid in a few years back, so we can all understand when you have a kid, things get handbraked a little bit.
Yes.
For me, it was, I guess, kids pushed me out to the dark skies more. It was the only time I had to shoot photos. So that helped with my Astro journey, was my kids taking up all my daytime time, and nighttime was the only time I had spare. So that's why Astro fitted in nicely. I asked you to send in a photo that you, I guess, in recent times feel proud of and is sort of memorable for you. I'll just share it with everyone now, if I can just find the right button. There we go. So I know where this is, because it's a place that I've never been and I would love to go. It's phenomenal. And I think this is from a recent adventure too, from memory. Tell us all about it.
So this image for me isn't, so this is a very special image to me, and it's right up there, one of my favorites, but it's not because of the technical side of the image or even the composition itself, because there's a lot better images out there, and I think technically and creatively I've taken better images. But what makes this one of my favorites is the location that it's shot at. And I've shot a bunch of images at this location. And I guess for me, I've said it a bunch of times in the past that when I'm out there in the field, an image is just a bonus. So for me, it's all about being in that location and just enjoying where you are. And this is one of those really special places. So for you guys who don't know where this is, it's Mungo National Park in right down the south side of New South Wales, and it's a World Heritage Site, and it's home to the oldest remains found in Australia, and it actually rewrote Australian history. So a long story short, about 40,000 years ago, the Aboriginals cremated somebody here, and it was a ritual cremation, and those remains have been found. So that's the oldest ritual cremation anywhere in the world. And when you're actually standing there, you're just standing there amongst 40,000 years of Australian history. And because it's still border one sky, you're just looking up at the exact same sky those guys did all that time ago. And it's on the shore of a lake. So the lake's dried up now, but you can actually still see where they had fireplaces. There's fossils of all the old fish they used to eat. And it's just so rich in history that when you're standing there, it's so surreal to just stand there and look up. So that's why I've picked this image. And yeah, any other image I've taken from this location would be equally as special for me.
Yeah, no, it's I guess a land of history from that long ago, and then the universe and sky with even more stories above it, looking down. It's I see what you mean by a powerful image and memorable image as well. I definitely understand that. Like that's, I'd love to go to Mungo. It's like obviously all the formations and the land there. This looks otherworldly. So
and just as a bonus, it does look like Mars. It's a really cool landscape.
Yeah, no, I think I forget. Is it Daniel Gum? I think it was the first winner.
Yep.
Yeah, of the Skywatcher comp. I think his image Dragon's Lair or something like that.
So do you want to know something really, really cool?
Yes, go ahead.
That trench that leads to the eastern sky there is the same trench he stood in, but he was shooting to the west. So that's exactly the same location.
Oh, so he would have been looking back at you, essentially.
Yes. So he was standing in that trench a little bit further up the trench. He would have been looking straight down my camera lens.
Oh, there you go.
So it's a really cool spot that you can shoot all year round, because you can shoot towards that eastern sky and get Orion and the Gum, or you can wait till the end of the season and shoot it the other way. So it's you can go there all year round. It's really cool.
I would guess that there would be endless compositions there.
Yes.
I'm assuming. Yeah.
You could spend a week there just walking around trying to find compositions, and it's just on another level.
Yeah, honestly, I'd love to spend weeks there shooting not only just the Astro, Orion, try and get Milky Way, Moon stuff. Yeah, I reckon that would be epic. But all right, cool, excellent. This is one of your favorite photos. What's a photo you haven't caught yet? Like, what's a photo that you've been wanting to sort of get that you've never been able to? Or, like, I know mine as a person who resides in Queensland, that I'm hoping that it's going to happen the next couple of years. But mine's an Aurora image. I can't shoot Aurora where I am. I know that there's been chances where you can. As far as you guys know?
Yeah, I'm probably just a tiny bit too far north, but just marginally. I know last year when they had some of those really big storms, solar storms, that the Aurora was seen this far north. That you've got me thinking now, because I was just thinking about Milky Way images, but yeah, Aurora, that would just be something incredible. But it's so random that you just can't plan for it. So I guess the one that's always stuck with me is, I guess it's a bit cliche for a nightscape image, but telescopes with the Milky Way, and not just any telescope. So I'm not sure what they're actually called, but the ones that are on top of Mauna Kea in Hawaii. So I'm not sure what they're called. I'm sure someone can let us know, but the bunch of telescopes up there on top of Mauna Kea, with the Milky Way, a huge high resolution panorama, that would be right up there. And I'm not sure if it's even possible if you're allowed to get up there and shoot.
Yeah, I think there's an issue in terms of Indigenous rights and things going up there.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on there over the past couple of years, so I'm not sure if that'll ever happen. But yeah, that's always been in the back of my mind, especially because Hawaii was the first place that sort of got me into it. So I just think that would be a really cool shot to go back there and get that. Another Hawaiian Milky Way, that would be really cool.
Oh, yeah, that'd be right. So it's, you know, sort of the fire got lit in Hawaii. It'd be good to go back there and maybe have a good stint at it.
Yeah, when I've sort of got some idea of what I'm doing now, it'd be good to go back and see what I can do now.
That's it. Well, so I can see you've got a bit of gear there. So, like myself, actually, it's pretty sad, isn't it? What's your? You've got. What have you got? You got the 2i, you got the GTI, you got the Mini, and we've literally got all the same ones. Good work. What's your favorite tracker? Which one do you rate the best for you personally? You don't have to say, "Oh, this one's the best one because it's the biggest one." Or...
Oh, that's a hard question.
Mine's a Sam. I love the Star Adventure Mini.
Yep.
It's blowing my mind how good that little guy is.
That's a hard one because the Star Adventure Mini is, until I got my hands on it, I didn't realize how small it was. So it's such a little tracker because it's so small and it can still handle a big heavy lens on it. So that's a really cool tracker. And I think if I got that first, that probably would have been my favorite tracker. But I've also got the GTI up here, and I love that one because of the automated features, using that with a Raspberry Pi computer and setting up mosaics and a bit deeper stuff. I love it for that. But I think I've got to go with the original Star Adventure or the 2i. But
the OG.
Yeah, I think it's just maybe sentimental because I've had it the longest. And I mean, this poor thing here, if you could actually see in detail, it is beat up and it still works. I'll just throw it in the car, grab it out, put it anywhere, and then I turn it on and it just works, and it works perfect every time. And it's been doing that for years. And
you've been offered a new one, haven't you? But you just go, no, you want to keep the OG still going.
Yeah, it's I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And that's the great thing about it, is it just keeps going and going and going. It's, I don't know, yeah. So I think just from a sentimental point of view and the fact that it's been everywhere with me, I think that would have to be my favorite.
Yeah, I had the original, the black one as well. I got offered the new the 2i version, so I took it and I gave away the OG one. But then sometimes I think, why did I do that for? It would be still good. It was good. It was fine. It worked. I should have kept it, but I don't know. Now, I guess all my trackers are white and they're all the same. So I don't know. It's an OCD thing, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah. But I was going to say, what gear do you want? What's something on your wish list? But you've got a lot there. Is something that you'd want to play with extra?
Well, you can never have too much gear. I think everyone can agree with that. If you don't want more gear, then you're not even a photographer. So I think, I guess,
gas.
Hey?
It's gas. It's called gas.
That's right.
Acquisition syndrome.
Yes. Yeah. But this is all really cool stuff, and it's all obviously designed for wider stuff. And years ago, I did have a larger telescope and a larger mount that I got rid of because it just didn't suit where I was living at the time. And I think now you would know and can relate to this, and I'm sure a lot of people can. It's hard to get out with a family. So sometimes it would be perfect to set up a telescope in the backyard and just shoot from home, when you can just set up sort of an automated system, leave your laptop running, and you can still do the family things that you need to do. So I think that would be something in the future that I would like to dabble with, would be longer focal length stuff and a mount that could handle like a bigger telescope. And I wouldn't go as crazy as getting dedicated Astro cameras. I would still use the cameras I've got, but just having a bit of a deeper look at things that I can sort of see in my panoramas to sort of see what they really look like. That would be really, really cool.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that. I'm saving my GTI because I've got the 62 Evo Lux scope. I've even got at the moment this little fella, the little Evo guide.
Yeah,
I'm trying to play with like some little longer focal length little scopes. But yeah, I probably will go down the track of an Astro cooled cam eventually, just so I can have it set up. And that's just the deep space stuff, you know. So I'll have that set up and use my cameras for my wide angle stuff. So, but yeah, I'm in the same boat. I understand. Family calls, you can't get out to a dark sky site, but it's clear. If you're at home, you can just shoot narrowband from the front yard or backyard, and you're good to go. So yeah, totally understand. I guess my next question is, with all the new stuff that's getting released at the moment, what would you like to see from Skywatcher? Or even just see in general, like new gear for Nightscape images? Like, or like maybe in like, because like, I guess what I was trying to say is like, we use our trackers. What can be made better? What do you reckon? What would you like to see?
I know what a lot of people would like to see would be more automation in tracking. That's obviously the hot topic of the last probably 18 months, but I'm not sure that I would change anything, to be honest with you. My biggest thing is keep things simple. So I just love, and I think that probably goes back to me using this old original Star Adventurer, is automation and everything's really, really cool. But I've actually had this happen to me once. I dropped my phone when I was in the middle of the outback and my phone smashed. So anything that I had that was controlled by that phone was ruined. So luckily I had a Star Adventurer that didn't need any sort of Wi-Fi connection or anything like that to work. So I could still do the tour that I was doing and not have any issues. But that's a really good question. I'm not sure that...
that's a good point. Even just that phone dropping, that like if your phone drops and you break it and you're in the middle of nowhere and you've got the Star Adventurer Mini, you're going to be buggered because you need to be able to connect the app to start it.
Yeah. So I actually, you helped me out a lot when I first got my Star Adventurer Mini, and now I've got it set up so that I can just turn the power button on and it'll run. So if I drop my phone and smash it, I can just turn the power button on and the Star Adventurer Mini will run. And so will the original Star Adventurer, or the 2i for that matter, that you can just turn into star mode and you can just run it. So that's what I love about those things, is technology is awesome when it works and when you've got the ability to use it. But as soon as you don't have technology, as long as you're not relying on it and everything falls apart if you don't have it, I think that's sort of the way I go about things anyway. But yeah, I'm not sure what will change about anything. I don't know.
I was thinking more of an update to a Star Adventurer and having the Star Adventurer become more like a mini strain wave mount, like those AM5 and AM3, ZWO mounts. So you don't need a counterweight at all. It's going to be powerful enough to just throw your camera and lens around with no counterbalance. You don't have to counterbalance anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've never,
as an upgrade, that might be an option that I'd be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never played with any of those sort of mounts, and
no, me neither.
I'm very basic with what I do. So believe it or not, I'm not that technology inclined. So yeah, I like things to be simple, and everything I've got simple. So I actually like things the way they are, believe it or not.
That's all right. Keep it simple, stupid is one of my favorite sayings. Don't overcomplicate it. I wanted to chat to you, I guess, also about photo competitions, Astro competitions. As you know, the Skywatcher Astro Photographer of the Year comps up and running. How do you see Astro photo competitions? Like, are they a good thing? Are they a bad thing? Like, what do you get out of them entering into them? Or how do you feel about them?
So I think they're a good thing as long as you go into it with a mindset that you're putting your work out there to be critiqued. So if you're not willing to have your images critiqued, maybe photo competitions aren't for you. But the thing I love about the Skywatcher competition is they've got dedicated judges for different things. So you've got someone who specializes in nightscapes, judging nightscapes, and someone who specializes in deep space, judging deep space. So you're getting a lot better feedback from images, opposed to some of the other ones that are a bit more one judge judges everything, and they sort of lump astrophotography as a whole when, that's obviously not the case. There's a lot of genres there that, even though they might seem similar, they're not even close. So that's what I like about that. And I guess what I would say is any photo competition is a great opportunity for people to get their images in front of more people. So whether you win, lose, whatever, especially the Skywatcher one, so many people you've got the ability for so many people to see your images. So, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a good way to at least get your name out there, rather than trying to, get your photo in front of someone's face through social media amongst the millions and millions of photos that you're funneled into a competition that people want to switch into. Then bang, there's your photo. Oh wow, who's that? Oh yeah, I'll give him a follow. He's great. Or
and
so
I've done that before.
Yeah. So it's definitely a good way of doing that. Like I said, it's good to keep your expectations to a minimum, because it's not always. I guess you might put a photo up there that's great. It may not do well, but it's not. So it's indicative of that it's a terrible photo.
That's right.
It's just that currently it wasn't at a level, or it wasn't as good or better than the other photo apparently. So that by someone's opinion.
That's right.
Sometimes you can take it. Don't take it to heart if you don't get picked.
That's right.
You just
and the flip side of that can happen. You might enter a photo in that you might think, oh, it's not the greatest photo, but I'll just see how it goes, and it may win because whatever you've got going on in that image may resonate with that judge. So you just honestly, you don't know. You could be up against the most technically perfect image, but the technically perfect image won't win because it doesn't have a good feeling or a good composition or something like that.
Or it's not telling a story that maybe is going to connect the judge and your photo that it's compared to. That's right. Like I've definitely had better feedback from photos that I thought were nice and good, but not as good as say another photo that I enjoyed, and it did better for some reason. So I definitely agree with that one. 2024, John Rutter. What's it look like? Who's John Rutter 2024? What's he doing?
Very busy.
Very busy.
Workshops this year. There'll be a lot of workshops announced very soon. So, as you might know, last year I ran a workshop with Capture the Atlas through the Australian Outback. So that'll be happening again this year. So that should be getting announced in February. So you can't book yet, but in February you'll be able to book for that one. So it'll go right through the Australian Outback, going to Mungo National Park, just ball of one skies everywhere. So that'll be a really, really cool trip that we're doing again. And then workshops for myself. So there'll be a whole series of workshops that I'll do. So this year I'm firing up group workshops. So it's something I've never done before. I've always just done one-on-one style tuition. So this year I'll be firing up group workshops, 2-night workshops, which will be, it's really, really exciting. So people can come out, learn how to shoot track panoramas, learn how to edit them, hang out, drink a beer. So it'll be very, very busy.
How to drink a beer?
Chug a beer?
You'll learn how to drink a beer?
Drink a beer.
From John Rutter?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so just obviously it's not up and running yet. Where are people going to be able to see, be able to book those workshops? Is it on your website or? Yeah,
so the workshops, my workshops will be on my website, and the Capture the Atlas workshop for the Outback tour will be through their website.
Okay, so once you update your website, you'll have a tab there to check out your workshops coming for 2024. Excellent. All right. So how many workshops?
So there'll be 4 2-night workshops with me, and then the one with Captured Atlas. That'll be in September, October.
So what about solo trips for John Rutter?
Time is going to be very, very thin, I think, this year. So I'm going to do as much as I can to try and get out and film some content. But I haven't got any concrete locked-in plans to go shoot. But the great thing about where I live is I live very close to Border 1 skies. So if time permits and the skies are clear, I'll just throw the gear in the car and go out and shoot some images. So, yeah.
Excellent. It sounds like me, to be honest. I haven't got as many workshops. I'm planning to do some Skywatcher workshops locally to me if weather permits and time. That'll be announced probably through Skywatcher if that happens. But you're wearing some of your merch there. Good old Eat Sleep Astro. Hey, how's stock? Is there any more designs coming out?
Stock's unlimited. Yep. In terms of designs, maybe, I don't know. I to be honest, I struggled to come up with designs. So this is probably the best selling item I got, and it's obviously just scribble. So I don't know. People like scribble.
I think we resonate with the slogan. It's pretty much eat. There's no sleep. That's why I'm called the Time Photographer.
Yeah. I think there needs to be I think I got some feedback about there needs to be an extra one in here for beer. So it needs to be eat, no sleep, beer, and Astro. So that may be a design that comes out.
An update.
Yeah.
I'll have to get onto that one.
Well, what do people in Europe and America do when it's cold? What do they? I'm not sure what they drink.
I think that some of them probably would still drink beer.
I would. If I was in the snow, I think it would just be a bonus because you could just put your beer in the snow and it stays cold. So
that's what I mean. Like, just what's better than just a really nice cold beer? Like, come on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm out of questions now. That's it's not too bad. We haven't blubbered on for too long. Well, I guess we can wrap it up. John, thanks for coming on. Thanks for having a chat. Appreciate your time and taking time out for me. Your busy schedule. As I said, this is probably going to be the first video I'm going to do of a series of videos. I just think that this sort of one-on-one chat with astrophotographers, I don't think there's enough of it online. I think I see them pop up online. I think I've even spoken to Richard Taddy about chats that he used to do, but he said that they didn't really get as many clicks. And for someone like himself who does survive off YouTube, I can understand why he wouldn't do them. Personally, I don't survive off YouTube. I do this out of, I guess, good nature and wanting to share this sort of content with other astrophotographers. But I love chats like this. I think it's informative. I think other people get a lot out of it. So yeah.
It's my pleasure. I appreciate the time. I could chat for hours. So I agree. I think there should be more of these things online, and I honestly could chat for hours about Astro. It's
my beer's not finished, so I can stop the video here, and we can chat offline.
Sounds good.
No worries, mate. Well, thanks for chatting, and I will chat to you soon.
Bye, mate.
Cheers.